right, we are back again this week. Got a fancy little lavalier mic going on, so I don't got to do the little boom with the microphone on there anymore. Aesthetically, I actually kind of like that. Aesthetically, I like it. I like the kind of like the radio show vibe that it gave, but we'll try this out. I have a video job this weekend, so I've got to test it at some point, right? But yes, we are back again, and it has been a flurry of the past few weeks for me. A couple weeks ago, my wife, she was sick. She got sick. She had COVID, and so that week was very low-key, just kind of chilling out, taking care of her, making sure she had everything she needed. And then just as she started to get better, I got sick. And I assumed that it was also COVID. I tested twice. It was not COVID, but I was absolutely walloped for like 2 days. I was just glued to that couch, and it was awful. You know, just my body hurt. I felt really bad. I was just super exhausted. And then we were supposed to travel right before I got sick, and we almost canceled our trip, but we ended up not canceling. First off, our trip got delayed. The flight got canceled, so it allowed me 1 extra day to rest. And that extra day, when I woke up, I felt almost fine. Like my body wasn't hurting. I was a little congested still, which was kind of annoying more than anything. But I threw on a mask, and we went to Minnesota to visit my wife's aunts, uncles, and cousins. This is all family that she wasn't close to initially, but her dad passed a few years back, and they've gotten closer since. So it was cool to go spend time with that family. They're some really rad people. Minnesota, beautiful place, a little humid. I brought a fucking tick back with me, which pissed me off and kind of scared me a little bit. Thankfully, it was not engorged or anything like that, so I don't think it was sucking on me, but you know, I don't want Lyme disease, and that was the immediate thing that made me think of like, oh shit, now I'm gonna get some gnarly like disease that that causes like gnarly flare-ups and causes bodily pain, and I don't know. Lyme scares me. So anyway, Minnesota was great. Visit with a family was all wonderful. Travel went well. On top of all that, just been witnessing, you know, all the shit that's happening in this country. Just watching our corrupt government, you know, make decision after decision that is actively harming people and endangering people, and not only presently, but will continue to in the future. You know, the reason I frame it that way is, you know, it makes me think of like the Native American, the seventh generation principle. You know, that you think about when it comes to your actions and what you are doing individually or within your group. You know, societally, culturally, whatever you're doing, you consider 7 generations down the line. And this administration seems to be not considering anybody but themselves and the consolidation of power and wealth, and it's fucking wild. It's really weird. I don't know what to do with it, you know. And we protest. We'll continue to protest. I speak against it in these videos. Anyway, this is a hobby show. I'm not trying to dwell on it. Something kind of related, and I'm just to move on. I went and saw 28 Years Later, and I have got to say, what a fucking phenomenal movie. Just absolutely exceptional. And for me, of all the 28, you know, days, weeks, years, those movies, this is the best one. Not only was it just this really wild and erratic visual feast, but it was also like a really rich story. It was full of political, social, religious commentary, and not only like towards like our contemporary moment, but also towards like our sentiments of the past and ideas of making things great again. Like philosophically, it confronts the fear of the other, and also like the measures that we go through to desensitize ourselves, to allow us to do shitty stuff to other people, and carry out really gnarly things. So one of the ultimate conflicts it addresses is the acceptance and reality of death. And Memento Mori was like a big theme in the movie, especially near like the third act of the movie with the introduction of a certain character. But I don't know, it was just a wildly complex movie. It was like just this really unique like art house movie. Like there was the blatant narrative, obviously, of characters going through a story, but there was once again like all this like commentary and imagery alluding to patriotism and certain conceptions of the past where people or a group represented a certain thing. I don't know. I'm trying to express my opinions on this movie and without spoiling too much. So I think if you haven't seen the movie, definitely go see it. It's well worth it. I thought it was incredibly profound. For me, in my personal life, there was a few things that connected to personal things in my life. So it was especially evocative for me. And if you're not a zombie fan, I still recommend that you see this. Like it is so much. It's less about the zombies and more about how we as people believe and how we carry on in the midst of dividing things. And it's really interesting. So it was a beautiful movie. Cannot recommend it enough. But yeah, moving on to the hobby. I have, despite sicknesses, despite travel, the stoke is still stoked. The fire is still hot, the train is still going, and I have finished a few things. Not as much as I'd like to, but I have finished a few things. I had my Mortarion commission, and I brought it to a point where I was like, I'm done, I'm good. But when I brought it to that point, there was still a thing that was, I was like, maybe I should go a little further. It was the wings, and I brought it to my friend's house, the one I did the commission for, and I was like, I shared my thought of wanting to expand on the wings a bit more, and he was just like, here you go, bud. You can have it back, do your thing. So I did that. I finished up the wings, added a little color into them, and a little flavor, a little, I think just a little life, And I'm happy I did that. It didn't really even take me that much longer. I don't know why I thought I should do it and then not do it and then have to get that validation to do it. I don't know, whatever. Point is, Morty is done. I'm stoked on it. This is my first prime arc, really, and it was a glorious experience, and I think Morty came out great. Big, beautiful butterfly wings. Another thing I painted this week, just kind of like a palette cleanser. I've been doing a ton of Death Guard lately. I've been working on Bolt's action in between, but I have my Orks that I've been working on the past 2 or 3 years, and slowly but surely I knock out a model every few months. And I did, the leader guy, the one on the great white Squigosaur. I got old Scragbad, knocked him out, and I love painting Orks. I love painting natural things, animals, creatures, these mounts. This was just a ton of fun to paint up. So, knocked out Morty, knocked out Scragbad, and even though I, vow to never add on to my pile, I of course continue to add on to my pile. And there's one-page rules is a really fun game system that I like to play with my buddies, And along with their game system, they put out different 3D print lines of like proxies, mostly for like GW type stuff, but they kind of create their own stuff. Anyway, I'm doing the one-page rules. I'm doing the robot legions, the mini wargaming guys. And their battle reports that they're always putting out. They have been doing the one-page rule battle reports, and I saw one with the robot legions, and I don't know, it tipped me over, you know. Don't get me wrong, normal Necrons, they're great, they're cool. These robot legions are just super cool. I wasn't sure about their aesthetic at first, because they definitely glean from General Grievous from the Star Wars movies, which is fine. It's totally fine. I just, at the time when I first saw them, 4 years back, it's like, eh. And then, yeah, alas, 4 years later, here I am, and I keep looking over and pointing. I got the tripod walker. Glorious, glorious little stompy boy with a big gun and his little robot arms to fix his pals. Good old robot legions. It was fun to with all the printing that my buddy did. Everything came out fine except for one of the legs on this tripod walker. For whatever reason, it kept failing. He's been having issues with his machine, but it allowed me an opportunity to just fix it up. So it printed half the leg. I fixed up the rest of it with some green stuff. Pretty rough job on the green stuff, but nonetheless close enough to the shape. It's standing, it looks good, I'm stoked on it. Yeah, so that's the hobby these days. Finishing up stuff that it needed finishing, and adding on to the pile, and just trying to press forward. But hey, what about you? What are you up to these days? I know I'm an American, and all these things are happening politically, for us, but I know they are affecting people around the world. Like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about the situation? How do you view us? If you are an American yourself, how do you feel? I feel like every goddamn day is unprecedented. There's some unprecedented thing that's fucking happening every day. But yeah, let me know how you're experiencing everything that is. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a like. If you got something to say, comment down in the description. Just tell me what you thought about 28 years later if you saw it. And maybe you haven't seen it, and if you haven't, please, please, please go see it. Go see it on a big screen. Oh, it was so good. I've only seen it once, but I thought it was just an exceptional, just profound, beautiful movie, and the best of the series so far. But I once again, I know that I have some personal things that have happened in my life that allowed me to connect to the movie in a deeper way as well. So, but yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. And of course, if you want to stick around for more, be sure to subscribe. Follow my hobby journey, follow my opinions on things socially, politically. I always hesitate in sharing certain things, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to separate these things. Like, part of the reason I wargame is because it not only is it a fun, creative escape from life, it's also a thing that reminds me, just like history and history books, they remind me that certain things are not great. When you play a war game, at the end of the day, there's a winner and there's a loser, and it's not fun to be the person who lost the game. At the same time, it's not necessarily fun to be the one who won the game, because you're beating your buddy. And that's not to say the game's just, oh well, the game is moot and it's not fun, but I don't know. It brings attention to that reality, the reality of strife, and that war is not pretty. And at the end of the day, like, there might be something that prevails, but it is nothing but loss at the end of the day. And yeah, I don't know. I'm a war gamer, I'm a hobbyer, but I'm also a person living in this world. So Once again, if you like the video, give it a like. If you got something to say, comment. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe for more. I'm going to be chugging away on my Death Guard till they're done or I'm dead. Same with the Orks, and same with my robot legions. Too many projects, not enough time. And all that talk, and I didn't even talk about my beautiful, glorious, kit-bashed demon prince. I made them all nurgly, added some tentacles. I'll show them off, maybe like in a painting video in the next one. But once again, that is it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Today is July 7th, 2024. Here are 7 dice. Today's numbers are on the D20, 17. On the D12, 9. On the D10, 6. On the percentage die, 60. On the D8, 4. On the D6, 6. And on the D4, 3. Those are today's numbers.